In the blink of an eye, the train nearly collides with a troop of monkeys, but all of them manage to escape just in time. The train barrels forward and crashes head-on, leaving the kangaroo with no chance to get away. At a level crossing, the train rushes in as monkeys cross the tracks, but one monkey narrowly avoids disaster. The vehicle driving ahead of me hit a wild turkey near Patoka Lake. A shocking video captured a galloping horse colliding with a car in Romania. Over the weekend in Asheville, seriously injured.
I gotta say that.
A deer suddenly ran onto a highway, and a vehicle traveling at high speed was unable to avoid it and crashed into the animal. While driving along the road, a driver suddenly encountered a bear cub emerging from a shaded roadside ditch. The animal attempted to cross the road but didn't make it in time and collided with the driver's vehicle, as well as another car. A bear about 1 meter long collided with the right side of a moving car. The vehicle was damaged, the driver was unharmed, and the bear fled back into the forest. A train suddenly slammed into deer stood right next to the tracks. When a train suddenly rushed toward it, the animal panicked and bolted in an instant, and was tragically struck by the train. With no shepherd in sight, a flock of sheep wandered onto the tracks, unaware of how to avoid the oncoming train. In a moment of danger, they panicked and scattered, narrowly avoiding being run over.
ये दोनों ट्रैक के दरमियान पड़ी हुई है।
A bizarre incident occurred in Russia when a camel casually walked along the tracks directly in front of a slowly moving train. The engineer had no choice but to follow behind. The deer made the wrong choice by crossing the tracks just as the train was barreling down. The cow slowly crossed the tracks, seemingly ignoring the oncoming train. In an instant, it was struck hard by the train. As the train approached, a flock of crows gathered near the tracks and hurriedly flew away, but one couldn't escape in time and was hit by the high-speed train. The train, running at full speed, struck a bird. A police vehicle traveling around 80 and wet hit a deer. Chaotic traffic makes driving challenging, testing every skill. But what would you do if an animal suddenly darted onto the road while you were driving normally? A car collided with a cow being herded near the roadway. A moose collision occurred in Petrozavodsk. The animal did not survive due to severe injuries, and the passengers were frightened but unharmed. A reindeer in northern Canada gets stuck on a high bridge as a train approaches. Should it face the train or try to escape?
Holy shit.
A motorcycle hits a fawn on the highway. The rider doesn't see it until it runs out in front of a white car. A man collides with a running bear cub, causing it to fall at the same time. A cow crosses at the wrong time and is thrown into the air. A donkey blocks the tracks and is struck by a high-speed train. A deer narrowly avoids being hit on the tracks. In the end, it escapes by a hair. The Super Voyager train hits a pigeon, and the bird is launched into the air before falling. A direct accident. The train strikes a bird at full speed. A driver ran over a giant alligator on a highway in Florida, USA. The mother reindeer and her calf ran across the road, but unfortunately the mother was hit by a car, leaving the calf frightened. Fawn was hit by a train, tossed off the tracks, but fortunately survived. A bird was struck by the train. A herd of cows crossed the tracks, but unfortunately one was left behind. It suddenly darted through a fence and appeared right in front of the last locomotive, getting hit hard and dying. A deer suddenly lunged at a man on a motorcycle, leaving him dazed for a moment. Luckily, he was okay, only slightly hurt. What an astonishing situation. An Indian wild boar on the tracks. A reindeer forces a train to come to a complete stop, then fights back. A massive herd of bison suddenly causes a train to halt on the tracks. Bison crossing the tracks. A monkey was hit by a car, resulting in its death. On the highway, a bird suddenly smashed into the windshield of a speeding car. During the V8 supercar race at Bathurst, a foolish bird suddenly darted onto the track. A baby monkey was struck by a white speeding car, while its mother screamed in panic. The Garibrath Express was in motion when it collided with a monkey that had appeared on the railway tracks. A group of monkeys gathered and completely blocked the tracks. Only when the train signaled that it was about to depart did the monkeys scatter, narrowly avoiding a potential accident. An unfortunate incident occurred when a high-speed train collided with a duck on the railway tracks. A heart-stopping moment occurred as the train sped forward at around 110 kilometers per hour. A goat suddenly appeared on the tracks and narrowly avoided a collision with the locomotive at the very last second. The goat suddenly runs onto the highway, hitting a car and causing minor damage. Almost hit by a car while relieving themselves in the middle of the road. Two carriage horses at Stanley Park in Vancouver panic when a car honks, pulling the carriage to the side and tossing a woman off. Fortunately, no one is injured. A A snowmobile hit a deer, the impact killing the animal immediately. A herd of cows stood right by the tracks, casually moving around without any fear as the train approached. A car almost hit a hedgehog, but luckily stopped in time.
Just breathe.
Two wild boars collided with two cars on the Tallinn-Tartu highway at km 77 past the town of Anna. A cow was struck by a high-speed train after suddenly breaking through a fence and running directly in front of the locomotive. Despite the driver repeatedly sounding the horn, emergency braking was impossible because the train was entering a curve at high speed. A pigeon unfortunately flew into the path of an oncoming cross-country Voyager train at Temre station. A donkey standing on the railway tracks was hit by an oncoming high-speed train. Three cows appeared on the tracks. The train slowed down and waited until they moved away safely. A large cow standing on the tracks was hit by a high-speed train near the Jehilam area. The train nearly hit a moose, and afterward the animal turned back and appeared to challenge the train. In Steamboat Springs, Colorado, a moose confronted an oncoming train while feeding. The mother and calf were separated as the train approached, but fortunately both survived. Dashcam footage captured the moment a car unfortunately collided with a goose on the road. Fox was tragically struck by a car on the roadway, a stark reminder of the dangers wildlife face when crossing busy transport routes. An unfortunate incident occurred near Lake Pleasant when a king snake was run over on the road. An accident happened due to a collision with a deer, serving as a reminder of the risks posed by wildlife, especially when driving through forested and mountainous areas. After a confrontation with another goose, the bird ran into the road and was unfortunately struck by a car. As the rally car was entering its run-a stage, it suddenly collided with a cow crossing the road. Seven lucky cows crossed the tracks ahead of an oncoming train in Tezpur, Assam. Four goats suddenly ran onto the tracks and were unfortunately hit by the train. A whole troop of monkeys surrounded the tracks without showing any fear. The local train struck a goat, leaving it trapped under the train.